Hello everyone, my name is Sasha and welcome back to Care Memo. We are now in the month of March, which is recognized as Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. That is a mouthful. So I wanted to take some time to just share some information about the disability. Now, I didn't really grow up knowing a lot about cerebral palsy, to be honest. I only started hearing about it when I was doing my first degree, and I would read about it in books. And even then, I felt like I didn't know anybody with this disability until I was placed in schools to do my practicum, and that's when I got my first bit of exposure. So chances are you also don't know much about it. The reality is that it's not one of the more popular disabilities. It's not like autism or Down syndrome or one of them that sort of rolls off everybody's tongues. It's something that you may know somebody with it, but you don't realize that that's what it is. A lot of people don't really know what cerebral palsy is all about. So let's go ahead and dive into what cerebral palsy is. It is a disability which is characterized by loss of muscular or muscle control as a result of a brain injury or brain damage. The symptoms that help you identify cerebral palsy include stiffness, problems walking, problems with movement, and for some people they have an issue with holding on to or grasping objects, okay, all related to muscle and muscle control. So there are a few different types of cerebral palsy, and I'm not going to go too much into the details where these are concerned because that's just too much nitty-gritty. The 4 different types include spastic, dyskinetic, hypotonic, and ataxic, and then there is the mixed. Now these different labels come from the symptoms that the person will have, their type of cerebral palsy, what they display. So for some people it's stiffness. For other people, it is a lack of control of their muscles and their bodily movements. So for some people, they'll just, flail and move all over the place and they have no control over it. For others, it is that the muscles are overly relaxed. And then for some people, it's like a mix of things going on. And another thing with cerebral palsy is that for some individuals, it only affects like one limb, like just the arm. For some, it will be both limbs. For some people, it will be just one side of the body. So, this arm and the left leg as well. It varies, So all of that is to say that the way that the cerebral palsy manifests in different people, it's very, very different from individual to individual. Now, in addition to the cerebral palsy, some people have additional or adjoining issues. For example, communication problems, that's a pretty common one. There's also drooling, dental problems, and poor bone or muscle density, which makes sense. Think about it. If you have a lack of control over your muscles, for some people that means that they are in a wheelchair all the time, or they're in bed all the time, they're not moving much, and when you're not using your muscles often waste away. So that is just one of the issues that can come with cerebral palsy. Unfortunately, there is no cure for this condition. However, there are certain things that can make the condition a little bit, I guess, easier to deal with, or help the person to be more functional. For example, the use of a wheelchair, walking aids, glasses, and of course therapy. So physical therapy and speech therapy are very, very big, very popular therapies amongst individuals with cerebral palsy. Now, last but not least, like I was mentioning in the beginning of the video, many times you might think, I don't really know anybody with this disability, it's not something that I'm familiar with. But fun fact, if you watched Breaking Bad, then you are aware of somebody with it, because the son on the show, Walter White Jr., I think was his name, he actually had cerebral palsy in the show. You remember that he had issues with moving and walking. That was his condition, and the actor actually has cerebral palsy as well. So it's not just it wasn't just a made-up thing. He actually had the disability and they put it in the show, which I really liked, because I mean, I like when disabilities are featured in mainstream media. And I also like the fact that they got someone with a disability to play such a character, as opposed to just hiring someone and telling them to fake it, you know, fake the disability. But yeah, there you go. Now you probably know somebody who has had that disability. All right, so that is everything for today. Now you know a little bit more about CP. If you didn't know about it before, I would encourage you for this month, and you know, going on to read a little bit more about it and to make yourself more familiar with the disability. And until next time, go ahead and like this video if you've enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will see you guys